My definition of average Australian male is someone like my good self. I get up every morning, I go to work, I supply the needs for the family, I do the best for the community, love sports, love a drink, and above all, just be fair and do your best.
Typical Australian has blonde hair, blue eyes and freckles.
I do think I'm pretty much a typical Australian. I come to the beach a lot, go out at night, a lot of Australian tradition in it. I've got Anglo-Saxon background, maybe that can be regarded as being typical Australian.
Those who know how Australians like to see themselves are those who help to manufacture that image, the ad men.
Well, we've got this one here, and he's fairly typical Australian.
We tend to use myths from the country and myths from the city. For example, the guy with the bushie with the corks around his hat, he's still reflected in a lot of advertising, still reflected in a country road catalogue, if you like. And the Bondi lifesaver, although he might sound a little corny, you'll see him in a Chesty Bond ad, you'll see him in ads for Cozies, anything that's on the beach during summer, you'll still see him. And what we're doing there is we're holding a mirror up to what Australians like to see themselves as, and we're playing it back. And people love that. It might not be what they really are, but it's what they'd like to be. We're not too worried about reality. We're worried about the perceptions of people out there.
It's the media that distills the symbols, the superficial character of our people. But others seek the values that are supposed to underlie the Australian character. And nowhere else have these values been more strongly articulated than through the traditions of Anzac.
Anzac means Australia to me. Mateship, practically the same thing, part of being Australian, I suppose. Mateship's very hard to describe. My wife said to me one day after the war, I was talking to a couple of mates, and she said, before the war, you wouldn't be seen dead with those people. You wouldn't tolerate them. I said, no, that's right. Then why is it now? I said, well, they're my mates. They served, they shared the last cigarette, the last in a bully brief. If I got murdered and fell over, they'd pick them up and bring them out, and I'd do the same for them. And then after the war and down through the years, you worry about them. You worry about their family and their kids. If they're in trouble, you do your best to get them out. That's what legacy's all about. You ask a legacy man what mateship means, and he'll give you a good story.
For many, the attitudes and traditions that underlie these images provide a sense of belonging, a sense of unity, a sense of nationhood. If these values aren't accepted, if people don't assimilate, if they don't adhere to these traditions, then for some there is a threat to the identity of the nation and the security of the individual.
I would like the newcomers to adopt an Australian idiom, which is mind your own business, work hard, bring up a family and add to the country's wealth and prosperity. You're in Australia now, yeah. If you don't like the way we live and you don't like the country you came from, yeah, you've got one or two choices. You adopt the customs of this country or you go back to the country you came from.
It's not what you look like that makes you Australian, because anyone could put sort of zinc on and go down the beach or whatever. But it's more of what you do or sort of what you don't do. Like, there are things that you could do that would make you un-Australian, sort of things that would be acceptable in other cultures. Like, if you go sort of like to the Arab nations, like, they treat their women differently, and the way they treat their women is acceptable over there, but it's not really acceptable here. Because it's just not our way of life, just examples like that.
Well, now it seems like a sin to be a white man in your own country, Australia, because, once again, a minority is ruling a majority. If I turned out on the street and said, I don't like wogs, chocos, gooks, all that, they'll have you in the anti-discrimination court, you know? give you a fair shellac, and they will, because they deem that you're just being a horrible person. Yet anyone from an ethnic background can come up and call me a skippy, white trash, a dirtbag, anything they like. Yeah, I haven't got a ground to stand on.